Oh my goodness. So a company unfortunately sprayed a petroleum-based tar all over my van. It's on the back, it's on the right side, it's on the roof, it's on the windshield, it's on the front, it's on the trim I just recently ceramic coated, and it is finely speckled all over. There was some construction at a location that I was at. They were spraying a petroleum-based substance on the roof, and unfortunately I was parked next to the building. They gave no notice, no cones, no warning signs or any of that stuff, and they sprayed it all over my van. Now I did communicate with the company, and thankfully we resolved it peacefully by having it addressed one-on-one. We did communicate thoroughly to see what needs to be done to the vehicle. We decided to hire a third-party detailer to work on my van, and it kind of makes sense because even if they did pay me, it wouldn't make too much sense and it would not be fair because it would be in my favor. So we decided to contract a third-party detailer to work on my van. Now thankfully I happen to know this detailer and is a great friend of mine, and I want to introduce him to you guys so you guys can see the whole entire procedure on what they're going to do from start to end. Satisfying visuals paired with some narrative commentary. So let's get started. Just shy of 20 miles away from me is a detailer who has a craft and ideology that I strongly admire and aim to be. So I knew I was sending my van to the right candidate. I am thankful that I met this individual who was more than glad to showcase the service on my YouTube channel while providing some insight on how the service was going to be performed. You guys have no clue how lost I would have been if I had not met this detailer, so I am grateful that he is the first detailer I collaborated with. This man is kind, transparent, and just down to earth with nothing but good work ethics and a community-driven culture in his shop that I respect and vibe with. The quality behind his work is years of not just experience, but having an open mind to learn more. So when I was asked about the company where to send my van, I knew right away there was only one man I can trust to service my vehicle. So please give a warm welcome to Victor.
Hey, what's up guys? I'm Vic with Detail Boyz based out of Glendora, California. We offer a wide range of detailing services such as premium washes, paint polishing, ceramic coating applications, and paint protection installs. We also sell detailing supplies and spot-free water for our detailers within the area to operate their business. If you're interested in our services, make sure to reach out to us at 626-250-8440, or you could also contact us through Instagram at detail_boys with a Z_LLC. So the project for today is that Carlo reached out to us to work on his vehicle to remove the sprayed on tar and get it conditioned with the help of our services. We're going to demonstrate our whole wash and decontamination procedure from start to finish to show you guys how we operate in our business using premium products and advanced techniques. All right guys, so we got a lot of work ahead of us, so enough talk and let's get started.
And by lots of work to do, yeah, there was a lot to cover here. While the speckles of tar are small, there is an excessive number of them that realistically speaking will take a lot of time, tar remover chemical, and extensive labor to remove each and every speckle one by one. The total cost of this service was $850 paid in full by the company that sprayed it, so comment down below how much you would have quoted if such a job were to be presented to you. Be constructive, mature, and definitely add context to your suggested quote so we can understand it even more. So with that said, there's a lot of work to do here, so grab a couple of snacks, kick back, and enjoy the video. Alright, so what exactly are we going to do to this vehicle?
So basically we're going to do a strip wash. We're going to try to remove all the tar specks that are everywhere. Doesn't look too bad. Some areas are more worse than others. I think that side's worse. But we'll try to basically pre-foam, rinse it, see where we're at, maybe pre-foam it one more time, do an iron decon, do a clean session, and then see where we're at from there. We're going to try the least aggressive first, and then work our way up as needed.
Have you ever seen anything like this before?
Not this bad. We've seen some. Usually it's on the lower parts of the car where like we get overspray. So this is a first for us, but we'll be able to take care of it.
All right, let's get to work, man.
Let's do it.
Before any contact washing, a thorough rinse was called to order to knock off any of the loose stuff so the pre-treatment solutions can perform at maximum efficiency. The tar was still fresh, so even if not many fling off, each single droplet counts, as the goal to tar removing is to use the least amount of chemical and physical procedures to ensure the surface remains unharmed. A large fan like this does take some time to rinse completely, but this first step is important as each layer of dirt that can be removed prior to contact washing will make the next step easier to proceed. So after Victor gave the van a thorough rinse, it was then time for him and his team to move on to the next step of this tar removing procedure. Alright, so what's going in the foam cannon?
So basically we're putting hot shot. We're filling hot shot about up to here, the rest water to here, and then the rest solution.
Gotcha.
So 10 to 15% of it's gonna be solution from Shine Supply.
All right.
But that's gonna help break everything down prior to actually doing any hand contact wash.
Gotcha. The solution, they're all-purpose cleaner, right?
All-purpose cleaner, yeah.
Gotcha.
But
All
10 to
right.
1 safe on paint.
Gotcha. So this is going to be mostly an alkaline, like pre-wash
Exactly.
or like pre-treatment.
Yep, just to see if it loosens everything up.
Gotcha.
Pre-washing is a really effective way to loosen up any grime prior to contact washing. Maintained vehicle or neglected car, a pre-wash will always shed the first layer of contamination to ensure the contact wash has far less chances of any swirling or marring. After Victor lathered the van in some high cleaning bubbles, I noticed there was a light brownish hue to the paint, which was hard to capture on camera, but I definitely saw it with my own eyes, which is an indicator that the grime was indeed coming right off. To allow the pre-wash mixture to work a little longer, another teammate works on the wheels and tires. There is really not much to explain other than using dedicated cleaners to remove the grime. I mean, my boots were not that dirty to begin with, and that is on top of the pre-wash already addressing it from the start. Still, it was nice to see the team working on my vehicle delicately despite it being a commercial van.
All right, so what you doing there, Vic?
All right, so now what we're doing is basically we're pre-treating the lower parts of the vehicle. That way it helps break everything down because that's usually the dirtiest part of the vehicle. So once again, solution 10 to 1 from here down, all the trim, the tires, underneath the fenders. We'll let that sit, and then when we rinse the whole vehicle, that's gonna clean most of the grime prior to our hand wash.
Gotcha. So this, we're still in like pre-treatment, like all
Yeah.
that stuff. This is just to knock off
All the grime, the heavy
grit.
grime. Yeah.
Gotcha.
Now, if I just rub it, it comes off very easy now. I'm not even scratching, it's just with the bottom of my thumb.
Okay, so this is
it's
still
working.
fresh tar, so that's good.
Yeah, but it's breaking it down.
All right, trust. Like, what are your thoughts on like pre-washing? Do you think it's more effective than just rinsing alone with water?
100%. There's no cars that we wash without pre-foaming them. That's just gonna make the process much safer.
So like less chances of swirling,
Swirls, marring, yeah.
Gotcha.
The tough part about tar is not how to remove it, but how much can you remove without jumping to the most aggressive approach. The pre-wash did remove a significant amount of the grime and some tar deposits, but unfortunately, the right side and rear were stuck on pretty well that would require a different approach. From the day that the company sprayed the tar to the recording date of this service, it had been almost 8 days, so logically, the material would have hardened enough to be stubbornly stuck on. So in order to remove it would require a chemical with a bit more punch.
What is he gonna do right now?
So basically what Jerry's doing is he's spraying Terminator on a small section where there's no decals, just to test it out. We're gonna let it sit a little bit and then just agitate it lightly. Like that. Basically, we're gonna go through one whole bottle per panel the way Jerry's going.
We're gonna have to let it sit for how many minutes or
We'll give it about a
seconds?
minute or so.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna rinse off the decal because I don't want it to sit on there. But if you look closely, it's starting to break it down.
Oh yeah, you can definitely see it.
We're gonna go ahead and start rinsing it off and see what it left us with. I think the back is gonna be the worst. I don't think any of this is gonna come off with the rinse, but we'll use Terminator after. I'll show you guys how to do that. Oh, it's stuck on there.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Oh my god.
So the next step we're gonna do is we're gonna go ahead and put an iron decon on it. That's gonna help release all the contamination that's inside the clear prior to cleaning it.
So what iron remover is this?
So this one's gonna be Pro Choice. It's called Zombie.
I'm guessing it smells wonderful.
Smells like egg.
Does this have any like purple properties to it?
It does. It just really depends on the vehicle. So if the vehicle's like heavy contamination, it will bleed purple. It just depends on the condition of it.
Gotcha.
I've had some vehicles that don't turn purple at all, but they're in pretty good condition.
So those are more like maintained vehicles,
Yeah,
right?
usually vehicles that we see like every 2-3 months for exterior details for protection packages. Those really don't bleed a lot. But then again, we've had brand new vehicles that bleed like crazy.
Yeah, because of like transportation.
Transit
and
on the
all this
train
stuff.
and so forth, yeah.
Gotcha. So how often would you recommend someone to get like an iron decon or a decontamination service?
I recommend at least every 6 months. I know a lot of people recommend every 3 months. It just really depends how they store the vehicle, how they drive the vehicle. If it's a daily driver, I'd probably say every 3 months.
Gotcha.
If it's like a weekend car and it stays garage, you could probably go 6 months. It just really depends on what type of protection the vehicle has.
Gotcha.
Now there's sealants that last 6 months. There's some that last 2 to 3 months. There's spray waxes that last 1 month. It just depends on what type of protection they have.
Gotcha.
Like a ceramic coating, usually ceramic coatings, ones we apply, you gotta maintain it every year. So we'll do an iron decon, a light clay if needed, and a light polish every year, just to maintain the coating, and then we'll retop it. But there's some coatings that required every 6 months. Every coating's different.
Gotcha.
Now just for reference, I had not deconned my van since the decon video almost a year ago, 11 months to be precise. So after Victor sprayed the iron remover, almost right away the white painted van was bleeding in purple residue. This is a daily driven van, but I actually maintain it with plenty of maintenance washes, so while not as purple intense like other daily driven vehicles with barely any washes between details, this is a perfect demonstration that no matter how much time you invest to clean the car, it will need a decon at some point in its maintenance routine. This also varies depending on how often you drive it, how it's stored when not in use, what kind of paint protectant it has, so honestly just trust your gut and test in an inconspicuous area with an iron remover and clay procedure and evaluate what needs to be done. After a couple of minutes of dwelling in some grape Kool-Aid, the van was foamed once more with the same pre-wash mixture to allow the iron remover to work a little longer and to soften the tar chemically, and this is all still before the contact wash. Now, I am sure many will say this is excessive, but truth be told, this is the most ideal way to go. Again, this tar is sprayed everywhere. If you had gone straight to claying, the risk of inflicting swirls, marring, and dare I say scratches is much higher because the tar had not been addressed chemically. For a small section near the wheel wells, yeah, do whatever you want, but because this is literally over the entire van, I am sure I don't have to explain how much additional labor that would add if paint defects were inflicted everywhere, especially if it is on a customer's vehicle. That would be financially irresponsible from a business standpoint. So by taking the necessary steps can ensure maximum cleaning output with the least abrasive technique. After a couple of minutes of dwelling, the spent product was thoroughly rinsed off to reveal a much cleaner surface to work on. Iron deposits and some speckles of tar were flushed out in the influx of water, so by utilizing a power washer in synchro with a chemical pre-treatment creates a more efficient and effective clean without the use of physical agitation. A significant amount of the swirl-causing grit had been safely rinsed off, and all that is left was the tar. Obviously that would require more work, but getting as close to 100% of a clean surface prior to the tar removing step allows for the chemical to effectively deal with the material without having to go overboard with physical agitation.
Alright, what's the next process that we're going to do here?
So now we're gonna do the hand wash. So we're gonna foam it one more time. Then we'll go ahead and start washing it.
Gotcha.
After a generous rinse, the vehicle was foamed once more for the contact wash. This is the step where we get to see how the tar will react with physical agitation after numerous chemical pre-treatments. Now, tar requires special cleaners to address, but because this is fresh material, it wasn't a bad idea to see if the least aggressive approach would work. There are a variety of methods on how one could approach tar removing procedures, so if you have any input, make sure to be constructive in the comment section below.
So what wash method are we doing here?
So basically, we have these pads from Flat Out. We'll do basically from here and up. We'll do 2 panels, then we'll go ahead and dip it in the bucket, rinse it out, and keep going. And then for the lower parts of the car, we have another, it's called Block Party. That's gonna be for the lower parts because that's the dirtiest, so the last thing we wanna do is bring that stuff up above and create marring or swirls and so forth.
Gotcha, understood. So you're not a fan of like 2-bucket method or any of that stuff?
I don't think there's no need. I think as long as you rinse it out and swap out your wash mitt every couple panels, you're fine.
Gotcha. And arguably, I guess some detailers who are, I would guess, say like newer to the industry, they would argue, oh, there's a lot of like rinsing or too much application. Like, what are your thoughts on that?
That's our process. That's our process. It's a safe process. It's been working for us for the last, 5-6 years.
And it's a process too. Like either if it's like a beat up vehicle or a supercar, all your processes are the same.
Yep. Now, if it was a really beat up car, like one that we had yesterday, that was a 1995 Corolla, where the paint was all chipping everywhere, probably hasn't been washed in over 2 years, they just wanted a basic wash with the interior detail, we'll use towels for that. Towels that we'll just throw away after. Because what's gonna happen is all the dead clear coat and stuff that's on the paint gets into the wash mitt, then we gotta throw away, a $20 wash mitt versus throwing away a $2 towel.
Gotcha. Can you actually feel the tar through the mitt?
Yeah, a lot of it's actually came off. You can't feel it through the mint.
But definitely by hand.
By hand, yeah. So as you can see, none of this stuff's coming off right here. But we're just washing it so that when we do our clean step, we're not just pushing dirt around everywhere.
Now, what uses do the detail brush have?
So this is gonna help get into areas that the mitt won't get into. Also, these brushes, they're from Carbon Collective. Get them with Scott at Detail Division. I've had these for probably 3 years, and they're still in great shape. They're amazing.
And it's a soft synthetic?
Soft, yeah.
Has there ever been a time where you had to use the boar's hair, like stiffer brush?
Yeah, if the car's really, really dirty, on plastics, we'll bring that one out. On paint, we won't use it. There's a high chance of it scratching.
Unfortunately, the tar deposits on the rear were so stuck on that a dedicated cleaner would be required to remove it. Still though, I did notice the van was a whole lot cleaner and some of the tar deposits did manage to fling right off during the wash, pre-treatments, and the use of a pressure washer. It is what it is. There really is no gentle way that can guarantee 100% tar-free service without the use of friction or chemicals. Victor and his team tried their best with the most gentle approach, and with the tar still present, they would need to step it up with a more dedicated clay and tar remover chemical. So after a thorough water rinse with spot-free water flushing out any remaining spent product, the vehicle was then brought inside to work on. I will have to say, it felt weird seeing my van inside a shop because where I work is a detailing setup out in the front of my home garage and driveway. I don't know, but still felt nice knowing that there was 100% coverage away from the sun. The next step was the clay bar procedure. This is the first attempt to remove the soft tar that can easily be chipped away safely. Any deposits that do not come off from this procedure would need a chemical treatment to melt the stubbornly stuck on material, but for the rest where it had not been hardened enough, a moderate abrasive like a clay treatment would be more than enough. Alright, so what's the next step after bringing it in here?
So we're doing a light clay with the fine grade clay bar. All that's gonna do, it's gonna basically remove the tar, remove any oxidation that the iron Decon didn't remove, and it'll get your paint basically nice and soft.
And what is your choice of clay and clay lube?
We use 2 of them. So Jerry on the other side is using ONR, rinseless wash, and then I'm using the Shine Supply, the Shine Mist.
And then what's your clay type?
It's gonna be the, this is a Shine Supply clay bar. It's a fine grade.
Gotcha.
So it's not an aggressive clay or anything. It's a super light clay just to remove light oxidation.
Not even medium?
No, it's not. That's too aggressive for this car.
Gotcha.
It's not needed.
And you could feel like it's already reacting right away? Or or how much pressure are you putting?
Very, very light. The only pressure I'm using is just so it doesn't fall on the ground. You got a bullet hole right there.
Shh, don't tell them. For the most part, the clay did treat about 80% of the fresh tar that was sprayed over. As shown from earlier, the spots were just chipping right off, so with the use of a light clay bar, it was more than enough physical abrasion to remove the material. Now, my van was not that bad compared to other contamination like iron, sap, and other embedded impurities, since I do maintenance it regularly. But just from a couple of passes here and there, you can see that the clay bar was shot with so much tar material that it was oddly satisfying to look at with the contrasting white colored clay. Seeing this tells me that the tar was soft enough to be removed with clay, which is a good sign because I'm not sure how many cans of tar remover it would have taken to decon the whole van. This was going smoothly, however the rear and roof were hit the hardest, and Unfortunately, the clay would very likely mar or scratch the paint if using abrasive techniques. So a dedicated tar remover, a couple of cloths, and a lot of elbow grease was called to order to address the material chemically.
Alright, so what we're gonna do next?
I'm gonna just polish the hood out real quick, see if we can bring some shine out.
It might be a little hard for you guys to see on camera, but you can see there's almost no gloss. Like, I'll put my hand in focus. Like, you see there is no gloss. Like, look at that. Oxidized. I mean, the lights are not orange. They're completely white, and it looks orange on the paint. That's how shot it is. So what's gonna be your combo for polishing?
Burnout and an HDO foam pad.
Gotcha.
Like, once again, it's not a correction. It's just to see if we can bring out some more gloss prior to adding protection.
Is that a DA or a rotary?
Yeah, it's a DA.
Gotcha.
Now, out of courtesy, Victor wanted to give a light polish on the heavily oxidized hood to bring out some gloss. So many thanks to him for adding that extra touch to the service. The panel was so heavily oxidized that the reflection of white lights on the ceiling appeared orange on the paint, so there was no way I was going to add protection over that. So Victor grabbed his polisher and got to work. Slow and steady arm speed on top of a quality polish will help bring some gloss to the hood. Unfortunately, because this is a commercial van, the paint that was used is a cheaply made one that is very likely single stage, and despite all the care that I put into this with sealants, waxes, and toppers, the paint was oxidized to the point of having a matte appearance. The weird part is that only the hood and rear was oxidized while the sides looked normal. I'm not sure why this is the case, but I guess it is what it is. From there, Victor worked on polishing the hood and claying the rest of the area while another teammate addressed the tar on the rear and roof. It was definitely weird for me to see my vehicle being treated to a detail, as this is the first detail-based service I had ever gotten. I used to take my previous car down the tunnel washes years ago, and to see this van getting serviced by a high-end detailer is a unique experience that I'm glad to document and share with you guys to witness the whole work procedure. I had a blast hanging out with the team, socializing what they do, throw a couple of jokes around, and having front row seats to the work being done. With each section they were working on, I definitely started noticing the boost in gloss, which made me happy, as it had been almost a full year since I had decontaminated or polished my van. After the team finished removing all of the tar and particles, that will conclude the end of the service, or for what the company paid for. Now, the company only paid to have the tar removed, but did you honestly think I was going to stop and end the video there? When the Detail Boyz team finished their service, Victor was kind enough to allow me to use his shop so I can install a ceramic coating myself. I mean, if the paint was going to be stripped clean and free of any grime and paint protectants, I might as well install a coating. After all, I was planning on recording a video like this, so what better time than now? From this procedure, I am going to use 3 different products to get the job done. The star of the show was Shine Supply's Beadlock Pro ceramic coating for tremendous gloss, self-cleansing abilities, and an estimated 4 years of durability, or longer if well maintained. Before application, I would need to prep the surface with P&S paint coating surface prep, and after coating installation, a sacrificial layer of bead maker to protect the coating during its curing. And then a bombardment of low and high pile microfiber cloths to buff and level the coating after application. What I have here is simply what I use and what works best for me, so if you have a different procedure or product combination, let me know in the comment section below. The difference between me recording a video at home on my driveway and recording inside a detail shop is the peace of mind knowing that the surface is safe and remains at an ideal temperature to work on. So with that said, I prepped the whole van with some IPA before coating installation. Because I'm indoors, I have more working time to prep or apply anything on the surface, such as a wax, sealant, or in this case, a professional grade ceramic coating. I can now extend my work area to sizes that feel unnatural compared to my usual location back home. This indoor shop with all of the lighting, cool temperature, and privacy was really starting to spoil me and makes me wonder if I had a shop of my own just to record my videos and operate my business. Shoot, who knows, maybe even start a detailing education center for those that want to take their craft to the next level. I don't know, but was very encouraging every second that I was working in this professionally designed shop. We will just have to wait and see later down the road. After an IPA wipe down, it was then time for the ceramic coating installation, and like with every coating product, an unboxing was called to order. My 100 milliliter coating comes in a metal can that is sturdy and premium feeling with a glossy label having a vintage, classy art style. Popping the top lid off, we have the contents inside. Up first was the microfiber applicator pad, and then the coating itself. Yeah, that is it. While simple, I prefer it this way as the instructions were already written on the label of the can and coating bottle itself, on top of Shine Supply having tutorial videos on YouTube, so in all honesty, not having paperwork or brochures is fine for me. So in my opinion, I think Beadlock Pro is simple and straight to the point in its packaging, which is something I appreciate, with easy to read instructions for a flawless procedure. Alrighty, it was then time to lay down the sauce. Before application, make sure to read the instructions to see what kind of coating and work experience you should expect, as you do not want to be caught by surprise and misinterpret the product. Popping the lid open, it has a standard bottle tip to drip drop the coating goodness on your applicator, which was nice to see as this is my preferred type of dispenser. Grabbing my applicator, I load the pad generously as this van has a lot of ground to cover from the paint, headlights, and vinyl wrap, so while it may appear excessive at first, can ensure that there is enough product on the sponge while having a large work area. I spread the product down in the center, then do linear left-right motions, working my way up so the coating is spread evenly. Then for the wipe off, I use a low pile 365 GSM towel to remove the initial layer of the coating. Then I switch to a high pile 420 GSM towel as the final wipe down. Just like a wax, wipe on, and wipe off. But this is a coating and you will need to wipe thoroughly. Now, as an unexpected test, Victor kindly let me use his remaining bottle of Beadlock Pro Marine ceramic coating to coat the other half of my hood. And yes, I used a separate pad to ensure there was no cross-contamination. I heard many great things about Marine as it is a more concentrated formula than the original version. While this is not an official durability test, I wanted to see the results myself, and I will let you guys know how the coating is doing during my wash and talk videos, so make sure to subscribe and hit the bell icon so you are notified when those videos drop. Working around the van, the procedure is pretty much the same as the hood, so I will talk about my first impressions of Shine Supply's Beadlock Pro ceramic coating. In terms of ease of use, this is a really beginner-friendly product to use as the wipe on and wipe off experience is forgiving. The smell is tolerable. I mean, obviously don't take big whiffs of this, but if you're in an enclosed area, the smell is not overwhelming and can be applied without a breathing filter, in my subjective opinion. When the product is ready to be removed, it has this rainbowing effect that depends on your work area, condition, time of the day, temperature, and other factors, so while my opinion of how it flashes cannot be compared to someone working outdoors, I can say at least that there is plenty of time to let the product sit. Just be mindful that if you are in a more climate restricted area, take the necessary precautions, and this applies to any brand when handling a ceramic coating installation. My van has a lot of surface area to work with, so while it may look like a lot of time is needed to coat this, I managed to apply and wipe off the whole van in approximately 40 minutes, and that is on top of me being overly cautious of the white paint hiding streaks and moving the camera around for this video. So arguably, this was fine. Could I have done it in a shorter time frame? Probably, but it's okay because I wanted to take the time and make sure that I can finish the job not when I get it right, but when I can't get it wrong. Finally, the roof of the van. Not going to lie, I was really close to not coating it because I do have some camper van modifications in mind in the future, but since I am already here with optimal lighting and conditions, I said, why not? So here is the catch that many would find controversial. The surface was clean and contaminant free, but the paint was still shot with swirls and oxidation as the paint quality is cheap, and there is no way I was going to invest my time polishing it out. So here is what I wanted to do different. Because the roof is the most frustrating part for me to clean with my short arms, I applied a questionably thick layer of Beadlock Pro without wiping it off. Yes, you heard me correctly. I am going to apply a generous amount of ceramic coating straight without buffing it off. Full transparency, I really don't care how the roof looks, as it is an area that you can't even see nor care enough to clean. So by applying a thick layer of coating, not only is it comically unprofessional to do such a thing, but logically we can assume that a thicker layer means it could last longer. Again, assuming. Of course, I would need to test how this surface would actually perform if you don't level it off, such as hydrophobicity, durability, and shine levels. Still, it is hilarious how I turned this 4-year coating into a 50-year coating, considering the excessive amount of silica goodness I smeared all over the roof. I can argue it made the surface more glossy, which was a surprise, and while no one will ever notice it, I guess you guys will be the only ones to see this cringy result I left behind. Feel free to express your laughter or criticisms in the comment section below. After installation, the coating needs to cure for about 72 hours, and I wanted to make sure the ceramic coating is safe during this time frame. So instead of driving off with no precautions, I wanted to add a sacrificial layer should the surface catch any unwanted grime. So my paint protectant of choice for this procedure was P&S Bead Maker. This product is incredibly slick and super hydrophobic, and since this is going on top of the freshly coated surface, will boost the gloss and self-cleansing properties until its next wash. So this is my go-to as a temporary protection to ensure that the coating has little to no contact with the surface contaminants should the coating be exposed to it. This applies to not only my vehicles but for customers as well, since they will very likely not wash their cars soon after coating installation. This step also helps me catch and address any missed streaks or high spots as a final inspection before closing the detail, especially if it is a very resistant and durable product like Beadlock Pro. So to some extent, I am treating Bead Maker like a quick detailer in that scenario. I understand there are dedicated toppers for ceramic coatings provided by different brands, but in all honesty, it would all just come down to what you feel like doing to your vehicles or what the customers had paid for. The only reason I add a sprayable topper in the end is because I want to make sure that if by some unlucky chance, the coating does get exposed to contamination like tar, tree sap, bird bombs, and other impurities during its curing process, the topper can at least take the hit instead of the coating. So if you have any thoughts about this or would like to share different procedures, make sure to let me know in the comment section below. And there you guys go, the whole tar decontamination service brought to you by Detail Boyz and a ceramic coating installation by me. It has been 3 days of curing and the van looks beautifully glossy, slippery slick, and popping with all of the contamination removed and the paint sealed with a ceramic coating. I hope you guys found this video entertaining, as this is my first detailer to detailer collaboration for the channel. I am grateful that I met Victor a while back, because if I had not met him, honestly I would have not reached out to anyone and would have done the whole service myself off camera. This whole project while shooting a video took almost 9 hours to perform, and honestly, this was all worth it, as I get to document what it's like to see another detailer at work and to feel spoiled working inside of a shop with air conditioning and music. Victor and his team definitely restored the look on this van, and I could not have trusted anyone else to do the job. So if you guys found this entertaining and would like to see more videos like this, make sure to comment down below on what you guys think, and make sure to support Detail Boyz over on his social medias.
Alright guys, so that's going to be a wrap for today's vehicle. Hope you enjoyed it. If you need any detailing services going forward, be sure to contact us at 626-250-8440, or once again through Instagram, detail_boys_LLC. Thanks for watching this video. Hope you guys have a great day. Good detailing.
Alright, and that's going to be a wrap for this video. Hopefully you guys enjoyed something and learned a thing or two when it comes to tar decontamination. I am really thankful that Victor and his team managed to clean all of the tar mess and impurities that were on the surface within a short time frame, and allowing me to showcase it to you guys, my audience, on this whole entire decontamination procedure from start to finish. And honestly guys, I probably would not have trusted anybody else to do the whole procedure, because yes, there are other detailers within my area that could do the service, but honestly man, if the company paid for the entire service in full, I might as well let the money go to someone I actually support and know in person. So I'm really thankful I got to meet Detail Boyz Victor over in Glendora. He's just a very kind and humble gentleman that was able to tackle on the job and also to showcase his work to you guys. And of course, if you guys want to acquire Detail Boyz services, if you happen to be in the Glendora area or just want to support him, I'll make sure to leave his contact info right over here so that way you guys can check it out and support him on social medias. If you guys enjoyed this video, make sure to leave a like, subscribe down below for more future content like this down the road, and make sure to hit that bell icon so that way you are notified with every video that I upload. Thank you so much for watching. Take care. Have a good time. Glossing up like crazy.
Yeah.
Like you guys see over there?
And then once we put the chemical guy ceramic spray right now, it's gonna look amazing. The joke, by the way, guys.
Coming back. He's joking, guys.
Joking,
Don't flame the
guys.
comments.
Freaking bad.